Hello, I'm Alfred Benjamin, and I was born many years ago, in 1916. So I was born in Hamburg, and when I was 10 years old, 1926, our father gave each one a camera, particularly to me, to see what I can do with the camera. That was a simple box camera, and lo and behold, I more or less won the competition with my brothers, and the pictures came out since then always well, and I became a photographer already when I was 10 years old. I loved it, and I still love it. So I had a wonderful, wonderful life in Hamburg, and we had a wonderful family life. We could walk around like everybody else and enjoy it. But then, slowly, 1931, 32, the clouds began to gather, and Hitler, communism, they were fighting with each other first in the streets, and it kept closer and closer, and I was very concerned with the politics, who was the prime minister, who was the president. But to cut a long story short, on January the 30th, Hitler took over. Somehow by a lot of various means from behind the door, because our president Hindenburg was quite an old senile man. That was the beginning of Nazi Germany. And you won't believe it. In the morning, I went to school like people here, high school, very happily, everything was normal. Then in the afternoon, when we came out of school, there were a lot of people screaming, extra, extra, special, special, because Hitler became the boss of Germany. And you should have seen the change then. Even when we went home from that school after the news, when I went to a store, to buy some candy, of course I had to say, like all the Heil Hitler, which I couldn't do. But everybody going into the store, Heil Hitler. So already the new system worked very fast. And the evening it was accomplished. There were big groups walking through our street, factors, torchlights, and songs against the Jews and the gypsies, everything. So really the Nazis started pretty fast to take over. But it took quite a while till everybody was involved. But I want to talk about one thing specifically. As I was an apprentice on photography, I worked for a big company, and I was asked one morning sometime in 1934 to take pictures for the Hamburger Fremdenblatt, which is the LA Times in those days, and was to take pictures of Hitler's arrival in Hamburg. I couldn't first quite believe it because I was Jewish. They obviously didn't know it, and I was not going to turn it down. I was thinking, this is history, and I would like to be in touch with history, and I like to see, does this man exist really? Is he there? So anyway, I took the little camera. It was a Leica camera. There was the 35mm camera, and I went up to the town hall, almost to the town hall, where all those thousands and thousands of people were gathering. Hitler, I was going to shoot Hitler, to photograph Hitler. So I waited with 1,000 people around me, and there were loudspeakers up in the trees. Tremendous voices announcing step by step of arrival of him. And I took my camera to be ready when he comes. And then, here he comes, in German of course. And there was the big limousine, him standing, like with a hand up, Heil Hitler. And all the people surrounded him, Goering, Goebbels, Streicher, I don't even know all the names. So they were all standing there, the whole faculty. And then he looked into my direction, and I was ready to take his picture. I looked at him, he looked at me. I'm not sure that I was the only one he looked at, but that moment I was paralyzed. I couldn't press the shutter down on that Leica camera, because that moment I became aware that this man wanted our death, my death, everybody, every Jew to be dead. And so I wanted to, somehow, I didn't function. Then they moved on slightly, and all of a sudden, like a cloud lifting of me, I got the courage again, and I turned around, and snapped the picture from behind. And here I would like you, because fortunately I kept the negative of that picture, and many years later I was able to print it to show it other people. And here is the picture of all the people moving around. And in here, there is he talking to the people. Of course, very small, you can hardly see it. But to see the surroundings, to see some people looking at me, and I'm sure I did not realize the danger I was in, because, I mean, if they would have known I was a Jew there, I would not have survived it. So the picture was taken, I brought it back, it was published the next day in the so-called Hamburger Fremdenblatt, the main paper, and it was called Hamburg Hears Hitler, HHH, back in German, Hamburg hört Hitler. That was the day when I shot him.